Boom.
Hello, and welcome to everybody's favorite Thursday offering from the Player 3 podcast, 3 Topic Thursday.
My favorite.
I'm your host, Luke Croft. Alongside me, we have Dizzy Cooper. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, man. I'm doing well, but things are just about to get way better.
I know, seriously.
This big brown baby right here.
You may be wondering, Luke, I'm wondering, why is there all this stuff on your table? There seems to be so much going on. Well, Dizzy, I'm glad you asked.
I did ask, you're right.
Because I was the proud winner of a prize pack from two people, well, from a company who has majorly inspired what we do here over at the Player 3 podcast, and that is Kind of Funny Games.
Kind of Funny Games. You won!
They do a daily show over on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames called Colin and Greg Live, where Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller get together and talk about the latest in nerd culture news. But every week, they reach into the prize pack, put something in the box every day, and then on Friday, they do a little randomizer, give it out to somebody, put together a Metal Gear pack last week, and guess who won?
Who?
Meh.
Of course, we see it right here.
Or it may just be a giant box. Nobody knows.
This box looks like it's in horrible condition. Like, for real.
Seriously,
it's been through a typhoon, there's a little bit of fuzz, and
this is
got a big hole right here. Look at this giant hole right here.
This is a testimony right here to the wonderful, wonderful people over at the U.S. Postal Service.
Well, here's the thing. It did have to get from one end of America to the other end.
That is very true. Oh, and Greg Miller just retweeted us.
Woo!
He's awesome. So thank you guys for tuning in if you're any Kind of Funny fans. And so if you're lucky enough ever to win a prize pack, we're kind of ruining the surprise of what it's going to look like. So I haven't popped this bad boy open. First of all,
move this out of your way.
Yeah, let me get this. First of all, a lot of tape going on here. I feel like a kid on Christmas.
You just want to rip it open, dude.
Yeah, I know, but we're gonna go about this carefully because I don't want to break anything.
I'm not allowed to be around sharp objects anymore.
That is very true. He sliced his finger open,
and then Ben smacked it.
It was horrible stuff.
It's like, can you feel it? I'm like, nope. So he smacked it.
Tons and tons of tape going on here. And,
here's the hole. Here's a good hole right here, man. It's been there this whole time.
Don't do that.
Well, it was there.
It is smushed. Oh, Greg Miller is in the chat, or somebody from Kind of Funny is in the chat with us. Don't die. It is all smushed because our U.S. Postal Service doesn't know how to deliver anything from one end of the country to the other.
Nope.
While being fully contained, but there is a lot of cushioning in here. So
what
congrats
is that,
on
dude?
That.
What is that?
I don't know.
I gotta get away from you.
I am not. Look, you're not the one wielding this thing.
So you're the one skipping it towards me.
I'd rather cut you than cut me.
Gosh. Love you too, Luke.
Friendship.
Love you too, Luke.
All right, we just went full on Christmas on this thing. Oh, it is Greg.
This is amazing.
So this is awesome right here. So here's the
oh, look at that.
This awesome bag. This thing is sweet.
That is nice.
This thing is very, very sweet. Larry is going to try to steal that copious amounts of times.
Or will Seth?
Seth will try it also. So there's our Fox bag here.
Brilliant.
All right.
That.
Yes.
Save that for last.
Yeah, we're going to save that part for last. So here's this jacket that Lord knows is too small for me. But maybe it'll... Here, we'll try it on.
Too small for you? You automatically know. Oh, dude, that's fine. It's like a suit jacket on you.
Yeah. We just... we won't button it. All right, so we got that going on here. All right, what else we got in here? We have the Diamond Dogs.
Oh, this fell out. It was a patch.
We have the Diamond Dogs T-shirt going on right there.
This is brilliant.
On the back, it says Konami. Colin was very upset. Said it ruined the shirt. But
you won this.
I know. I won this.
Gosh.
It's awesome. I did absolutely nothing except for I'm taking this off because it's hot.
Packaging.
Let's see. What else do we get in here? We got the Miller sunglasses.
Oh, snap.
Not the Greg Miller sunglasses, although he did wear these. So sunglasses going on here.
These are the ones I told. Gear.
Yeah, with a nice little bag here. I'm giving these to Seth. He's the big Metal Gear fan for us.
There's so much in here. Excellent. There's just so much in here.
Yeah, and then another little patch right here, another Diamond Dogs patch, and then a bunch of sewable patches on here. Very awesome, very awesome. And then last but not
Here's
least,
the big one.
This is the big one. And I promise you, Greg Miller, we will not open this. This is a special edition Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker PSP Big Boss Pack.
Wow.
The camouflage. He said he got this directly from Konami. So this is very cool. We're working on our set still. I just bought a new house, so
That'll be
but as soon as
very
we
much
get
displayed.
shelves up, we'll put this on the back and we'll credit it to you every time somebody asks.
That is brilliant, dude. Absolutely brilliant.
I'm very excited here.
That made my day. It's not even my stuff.
Yeah, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this right here. Let it be the envy of those who view the stream. And what'd you do with my notepad?
It's on my lap.
So, guys, go check out Kinda Funny. Awesome dudes over there. And
doubt.
an awesome prize pack they put together. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe. And, yeah, you could potentially win one of these as well.
Dang, son.
All right.
That's smooth.
Well, now I got to come down from this high because I'm very excited about this. This is it's like Christmas hit in August.
Christmas hit in August. Yes.
So
It's September, though. It's September.
oh gosh,
It's September 10th.
Yeah. All right. Let's get down to business here. All right.
What's up, brother? What's up?
Hold on.
He's got it rolling.
Thank you again,
His heart's racing.
Greg Miller and Kinda Funny. If you're over here watching us because it got tweeted out, make sure you hit that follow button. It would mean a lot to us, and you can check out the out the links.
Yes.
And this Metal Gear box right here. But this is 3 Topic Thursday. We get together every Thursday. We have 2 good friends, 3 good topics, and we like to talk about video games. So that's what we're going to do here today.
Usually, yes.
And,
Usually that's what we
I'm
do.
going to have to set this over here.
Let's set that aside, brother.
All right. We're over here on twitch.tv/player3podcast. We're also live streaming over on YouTube.
Give that a shot.
And then you can subscribe over on YouTube. We also have a Monday podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher. But here we go.
Bring
First
it on.
topic. You ready?
Absolutely.
We talked about this on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a pre-order. There's a pre-order model program going on for Deus Ex. That's been a bit controversial. I don't know if it's even been controversial because I haven't seen anybody yet who's like, this is really good.
I have mixed feelings about it, but more so on the negative side. Just to be completely honest, right before we get into it.
Yeah. So let me just read this article from Polygon. It says, while announcing the release date for Deus Ex Mankind Divided, it's February 23rd, 2016, by the way. Square Enix is also trying something new with the game's pre-order system, introducing tiered rewards based on the number of pre-orders placed for the game across retailers in select countries. You can register over at augmentyourpreorder.com, and as the overall goals for the pre-order campaign increases, so do the reward tiers. So it's kind of like Kickstarter.
It is. That's what I wrote. It's very much Kickstarter campaign. Very much so.
So what they're doing is they're encouraging people to pre-order the game, and the more people pre-order, the more tiers get unlocked, and the more everybody that has pre-ordered the game benefits. So here's the tiers. At tier number 1, it gives pre-order customers a choice between 3 loadouts. So that's automatic. You are automatically entered into tier number 1.
You just pick one, though, right?
Yeah, you just pick one of the 3 loadouts. Tier number 2 gives customers a choice between a digital art book or a soundtrack sampler. Tier number 3 will unlock a mission called Desperate Measures. Tier number 4 gives customers a choice between, I love this part, a digital comic or a novella. Parentheses, that's like a comic book without pictures.
Without pictures.
And then most notably, the
love
final tier, the 5th tier, if reached, quote, the game will release 4 days before the official release date. So very Kickstarter-esque.
Absolutely.
And
I don't know, dude. Like, immediately when I heard about this, I thought that, this is going to give the company, or if this is not what they're seeking this false sense of success. They're like saying, hey, do this now, and you'll get great things. And then all these pre-orders show them, hey, there are people that are guaranteed to buy their game. And that gets them excited, that gets them going. But it's all just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of sad to me. They're buying these sales.
Yeah, to me, I tweeted out when I read this article last week, and I said it on Monday, that I think it's the most innovative way to give a giant middle finger to your early adopters.
Very innovative way, absolutely.
Just because if you're going to go out and you're going to pre-order Deus Ex, it's because you are a big fan of this series of games. I would imagine. This isn't just like one of those annual games that comes out that you just kind of naturally pre-order because it's Call of Duty and you like Call of Duty, and you can just be a casual Call of Duty fan and pre-order it. I imagine if you're pre-ordering Deus Ex, it's because you are a huge fan of that game series. And so to say, hey, we're not going to give you all of the benefits of pre-ordering unless, and really, Larry had it right when he said that what they're trying to do is proselytize their people into becoming walking billboards for them. To say, I pre-ordered Deus Ex, it's an awesome game, you should go check out Deus Ex as well. And like, so it's word of mouth marketing without necessarily having to pour a ton of time, energy, and resources into the marketing. So to me, it just really screams to your early adopters, like, we only care about you if you can spread the love enough to get more people talking about this game and pre-ordering this game. And so the tier system I think is kind of cool. Ben brought up the point on Monday that like you're not like a loadout sometimes is all you get for pre-ordering. So to give them all these others, but for me it's like if I'm a big enough fan, because here's the kicker: if you get the collector's edition of the game, you automatically get all of these things.
Even the 4 days early?
I don't know if you get the 4 days early, but everything else in there is guaranteed to. You're guaranteed to get it regardless of whether the tiers. So, number one, it's kind of saying you need to become a walking billboard for us, or you need to spend the extra money. And how much was the collector's edition?
$150.
Yeah, $150 to buy the collector's edition, which you get like a statue and some other stuff, which is like...
That leads me into my thing right there. Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
Dude, it's like all this nonsensical incentives. Like... Oh, pre-order and spend, $40 more than you should at, normal retail, and you'll get a statue or a strategy guide or the pseudo collector's item.
Yeah.
That's I don't know if this is for everybody, but it's definitely not for me. I like when things when this content enhances the game. Mm-hmm. Like that's why I'm so split on this. Because there's a lot of pre-orders where I think, okay, this is just, clawing for sales, or hey, this is legitimate. And I'll defend that by saying Rock Band 4. When you pre-order that, you get, I think, 40-some songs. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like, that enhances the game. You can still buy the game and play it without these songs. You don't need it to further your advancement. You don't need it. But it's a bonus. Now, for, Evolve... If you pre-ordered what? You got the most powerful version of that character right out the gate, like the level 3 character. Yeah. That's a little overboard. That you're paying that to win that because you already have the better character. So that's why I'm so split. I think that the way that they're doing this is weird and ridiculous, but I see a lot of it being as enhancements to the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why I'm torn on it. Split.
Yeah, and one of the things that's in there is a mission that you get, and I imagine that's going to be DLC you have to pay for later on.
Really?
I mean, if you pre-order it and you get to that tier, you get that mission for free. Now, they're not just going to not give that to people, okay. So would they have to pay for it as DLC even though they pre-ordered the game, or would it be one of those things retroactive, or how's that going to work? Some of those things are kind of odd to me. Now, X Moda put some fighting words in here for you. That? He says Guitar Hero is greater than Rock Band.
Have fun relearning how to play the game. With those weird new buttons, they're side by side. You make power chords. That's not how you solo. You don't solo on the very end of the guitar.
But you can if you want to.
Oh yeah, bum 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 bum.
You ever heard of a bass solo?
Yes. But have fun relearning to play the game.
Anyway, so. To you, a pre-order is only good. Pre-order bonuses are only good if they enhance the overall thing of the game.
Yeah.
So, a skin doesn't do it for you.
Not necessarily, but it depends. Did I enjoy getting the skins when I bought the Game of the Year edition of Borderlands 2? Absolutely. I thought it was really fun, but I wouldn't pay for it, just outright.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. See, to me... After last year and the brokenness of some titles that I really like, Assassin's Creed Unity had a lot of issues with it. Halo the Master Chief Collection had its issues. I swore off pre-ordering for a year.
You did.
And I didn't miss pre-ordering until we got to the fall. Because to me, pre-ordering is not just a way of guaranteeing I have a copy of a game. Because I have never went to go pick up a game this year and the like day one and then been like, oh yeah, we sold out. If you'd have pre-ordered it, we'd have had one.
I've never encountered that.
Like that, I think it happened to Seth when Until Dawn came out. He went to go pick up Until Dawn, and our local GameStop was sold out.
All I know is my Halo 2 experience of when I was with one of my friends. He was waiting in line at GameStop for hours. I'd say at least 3 hours. And I'm just hanging out with him. I didn't pre-order it. So it hit 12. They're going through the line, checking everybody's stuff. I walk down to the Walmart, buy my game, and just wait for another hour until he's done.
Yeah. So to me, pre-ordering isn't so much about that as much as it is like in the fall when there's a bunch of games coming out. I can just go in, and if I'm going to pick something up, I'm like, okay, here's, I'll put $5 on it on that pre-order. And it's kind of like almost a layaway sort of thing.
It is. But you're also telling the developers that, hey, you are guaranteed to get the remainder of my $55.
Yeah, which is very true. Except, and this is me being ignorant of how the system works, because you can just as easily go in and say, I want to switch my pre-order over from Batman Arkham Knight to Guitar Hero. And how do those numbers work? I guess that they can go up just as much as they can go down.
Absolutely.
But regardless, like for me, pre-ordering has always been about not necessarily the bonuses that you get. Because like I'm a big sports game fan, and like Madden, a lot of the stuff you get is Madden Ultimate Team coins and things like that, and I don't play those modes, so I don't care about the pre-order bonus, but rather just the ability, number one, to go to the midnight release when I used to do that. But I don't even do that anymore after the fiasco that was the Destiny one. But anyway, and then so being able to go to the midnight release, but then also just using it as that kind of layaway program. So I've kind of sworn off pre-ordering for a year, but I think I'm going to return to it because most of the games I picked up this year, nothing has been like crazy broken. 2015 has been a lot better for us as a consumer than 2014 was. And so I think next year I'm probably going to pick it back up again. But these sort of bonuses and this like tier model to me just it's not a fan service to your people. Like to pre-order it and then have to wonder like, am I going to be able to get this or that? And then you'll have a lot of people who are like, well, I'll just wait till it gets to tier 3 before I pre-order because I really want, that extra mission. And so, like, how many people will have that frame of mind to where you don't really get to tier 3 because everybody's just waiting to get to tier
absolutely.
3. So, I had a distrust 9 months ago on pre-ordering. I'm starting to regain it a little bit, and I'm probably and I'm from the school of thought like just spend your money however you want to spend your money. Like I'm not one of those guys who's an evangelical don't pre-order. I wrote an article before at the beginning of the year about why I wasn't choosing to, and if other people wanted to follow that same logic. But like Seth pre-orders games and Ben pre-orders games, and you pre-ordered Rock Band. And a lot of stuff in the chat going off on here about Rock Band. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, very much so. Like I'm beginning to regain my trust in that stuff.
Good. Another thing that I think has control over people is that when it comes to pre-ordering and the bonuses you get, I feel like there's a lot of people that just enjoy the exclusivity of those items. Like that's something that really gets them excited. And I was reading on Polygon, they said that at $149.99, the collector's edition represents a significant premium over the $59.99. Now, here's the thing. There are words that have control over people. Certain negative words make you feel a certain way. Certain positive words make you feel another. Like the word fresh.
Yes, fresh.
Premium. When you hear significant premium, that's people like, I need that now. It's so much better.
Right.
When I see these words, I'm already immediately hesitant because I worked at Walmart and I no longer believe in the word fresh.
No.
I don't believe in that anymore.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist.
They actually talked about that on the Art of Manliness podcast. We all the time plug Art of Manliness now, but about how like we use words like authentic when it comes to food, and it's like Domino's has authentic Italian artisanal pizzas.
Artisanal, ooh.
Yeah, and so like I know we gravitate towards those kinds of words, and so question here from X Moda,
what's up?
New friend of the show here. He says, I'm just saying Rock Band 4 looks to be the same as Rock Band 3. So what brings people back exactly?
Great question. All right. Well, we could say the same for, like a Call of Duty or something. It's all kind of the same thing, but you're just getting a new experience from it. Yes, it does look the same, but there has been improvements to the instruments and to the guitar and to the drums mainly, and then some with the microphone. So just like you would be for a console or another edition of a game, you just wanted that extra improvement. You want it to be better. You then have access to newer songs and things that you won't have experience with in the past. It's just, it's one of those games that I really enjoy playing with my wife and with friends. And if I can, get a better drum set that's not going to break after a week, or a guitar that's not going to short out or something like that, I really enjoy that enhanced experience. And it's just fun. It's one of those things that it's really relaxed. It's nonchalant. There's no real connection with it other than just have fun. So I find it completely worth it to continue on in that journey, because they're putting out something that I enjoy. They're putting out something that a lot of people enjoy. So let's support it.
Yeah, and I, being a sports games fan, I kind of get that same judgment from people because I buy Madden every year and NBA 2K every year, and they're like, it's just the same game reskinned. And to an extent, that's true. Now, something like Rock Band, where they've had plenty of time to, kind of rehash some things and redevelop them. But I think the same can be true for them. But when you have like a 9-month development cycle, you can only focus on a handful of things at a time, probably. And so, we did a lot of streaming of Madden 16, had people come by, and it's always the same thing. Like, this looks like the same game. And it's always that word looks. And it's kind of the culture of making our decisions based off screenshots or YouTube videos or Twitch streams of people playing games, and just judging the book off of the cover of it, which is what the game looks like. But there's a whole nother realm of elements that go into gaming that you don't really get a sense of just watching a video or reading a review or checking out screenshots of it. Yeah, you can get a general idea of what the game looks like or how it plays. But I always tell people, when people are like, well, Madden is just the same game over and over again. While I agree some years, like this year, the game feels entirely different with the controller in your hand when you're playing it. And so you have to get in there and experience the game before you can make a definitive answer of like, that game's just the same game reskinned, And so, yeah, where Rock Band may appear to be the same, but just with updated songs and updated hardware, until you get in there and really get a sense and kind of immerse yourself in the gameplay experience, you'll never get a true idea of what the game is actually like.
But Xboda does make a valid point. I mean, the guitar from 3 to 4 look exactly the same. Like, same color scheme, same design, same everything. It's just the components are different. So I get where he's coming from, absolutely.
Yeah, Empty Vial says a couple things here. He says, hit that follow button for the freshest, most authentic podcast experience.
Freshest, most authentic. Premium.
And then he says, and as we come into the winter season, join us for our seasonal podcast, in which nothing really changes except the season in which we broadcast. Yes. All right, you're over here watching 3 Topic Thursday on twitch.tv/player3podcast. If you missed any of it, including our Kind of Funny unboxing, you can go over to youtube.com/player3podcast and check out the archive of that video once we get done with the stream here.
Dude, it's got 2012 on the back of this.
2012.
How old is
but
this?
we can't open it up to see if it works. Yeah.
Oh, why? Okay.
I have no idea. But, okay, moving on to topic number 2.
Number 2.
First of all, before we move on to topic number 2, you saw Pokemon Go, right?
Yes.
All right, I would just like to point out that they totally jacked our idea. We talked about this. When was it? E3? Right before E3?
Golly, dude. It was a while back.
We were like, what if Nintendo had an augmented reality game? Go back, watch 3 Topic Thursday E3 discussion. If Empty Vials can go back and check it out and find out where that video is and then post it in the chat, go look it up, because we talked about, like, what if there was an augment. I'm not a Pokemon fan. You're not really. You're kind of a Pokemon fan.
I like playing the game, but I don't.
Now, Ben saw this thing, and Ben's on our Monday show with us. Ben saw this thing and like totally freaked out.
He did.
But I said, how cool would it be if there was an augmented reality game like Ingress, where there were I said like Ingress.
Like Ingress.
Yeah. That you got to go out and you got to capture Pokemon in the wild. And I don't know if it went as far as how I said it, but like if you're water Pokemon or by water creature and whatever. I wouldn't play it, but I know Pokemon fans would be into it, and I really enjoyed Ingress. And then Who else is developing Pokemon Go except Niantic, who did Ingress?
Boom.
Like we're expecting a check in the mail. All right, Nintendo.
This is something else we said. We also said that certain companies would buy into it to where, like, you come to Target and you can get a Mewtwo. Now let's see if that happens. If companies get into that, if you come to Walmart, you can get this special Gyarados.
Yeah, we did talk about that, didn't we?
Yeah, let's see if they do that next. We're calling out a second time.
Yeah. Yeah. So go find that video, Empty Vials, and post a link for everybody, or I'll do it in the next topic while I'm not listening to Dizzy talk. Topic number 2.
That's half of the
that's
half of this.
That's pretty much all of it. It's all me like trying to keep up with the chat and then checking my phone and thinking about all sorts of things.
Man.
All right, next topic on the docket. Yesterday was much like Rock Band 4, the same thing reskinned into something new, with Apple unveiling a whole new line of products.
Whole new and innovative.
With the iPad, I think it's called the iPad Pro. That's
like 12 inches.
The size of it's huge. It's everything you've never wanted in an iPad. Mm-hmm. And then they also unveiled the iPhone 6S. And see, I'm talking all this junk. I have an iPhone. I love my iPhone. But I'm becoming more and more disenfranchised with Apple as I see it seems that they're like always a couple years behind.
They're losing steam.
Yeah. I actually read an article about how it's becoming less and less of like a big deal when Apple unveils something. It used to be like when Apple's unveiling a new iPhone, the tech world stops and looks. And not only the tech world, but just anybody who has a smartphone stops and watches. But now everyone's just like, same thing. It's going to be a little faster, maybe a little thinner. We're going to have to buy a new case for it, you know. And so they unveiled their new Apple TV, which has been talked about for a long, long time now. And this was apparently... Oh, yeah.
Yes.
In the chat, they're talking about the ridiculousness of this. Let's talk about this before we get to the Apple TV gaming thing. So they unveil the iPad Pro, which is gigantic. It's as wide as the old iPads are tall. It starts at $7.99. You can buy an iPencil, which is just a stylus, if I understand correctly.
Does it just have like a sharper end or something?
Yeah, okay. For $100.
Oh, and premium.
And then you can get a keyboard, I believe. Is it $150?
I didn't look into that.
It's either $150 or $175. I'm sure
so you get all of it for $1,000.
So, and then the highest model, the 128 gig, I think, starts at $1,059. That's with nothing, I don't think. $1,059. 200 pounds for the keyboard, says Zephyr Baby. We don't know what that means, all right? Because if it was 200 pounds, I could go out and buy one right now.
Yeah, I mean, I could buy one and maybe a third of a one.
I couldn't get the keyboard in the stylus. But anyway, beyond that's beside the point. The real point is, so Apple TV unveils what they were touting was going to be the console killer.
The console killer
of Apple TV. So they unveil Apple TV, which is the box, a very useful box, turning any TV into a smart TV, connecting you to apps like Netflix and Hulu. You can stream your laptop to it. You can do all kinds of cool things to it. But they are adding gaming to the repertoire, and you will be able to play games such as Guitar Hero Live, Disney Infinity 3.0, Geometry Wars 3, and then they announced
this is the extended one because when they showed the actual presentation, you're like, console killer. And then it was a duck crossing the road, like Frogger. I'm like, yep, that's the console killer right there.
And I guess because they're offering some console-like experiences like Guitar Hero and like Disney Infinity, they can do that. But take Disney Infinity, for instance. That is a platform game that just all over the place. Like, you can play that thing on anything. You can play it on your Xbox One. You can play it on your Nintendo DS. Like, just a whole range of systems you can play those games on. So for them to really bring that over to Apple TV isn't really like some great technical feat, I wouldn't imagine.
No, I mean it says, hey, enjoy the 2006 Wii technology. That's pretty much what it says to me. It's like it's not a huge stride, you know. It's not a huge stride against high end consoles. It's no new ground. Like the video I watched with him playing the duck game and then something playing baseball, I'm like, that's just the Wii technology of almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like innovative.
And the thing is, I think the 16 gig, or no, the 32 gig is $149. The 64 gig is $199.
Now that's interesting because that's not, with me, Apple is pretty synonymous with crazy price points. That's not horrible. That's really not. 150?
Yeah, that's not
For
terrible.
something that can make any TV into, or any.
And especially
modern TV.
if they really believe that gaming is like the next leap for Apple TV, raising the price of that thing, and they also put Siri technology in there. And it's actually, the Siri technology is kind of cool because you can do like, hey Siri, I want to watch shows with name an actor, and it'll bring up shows that have that actor.
John Stamos.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I need to ask what shows John Stamos is in.
He's got Grandfathered and got Full House.
ER? Wasn't he in ER for a while?
I mean, and then he just kind of shows up here and there.
Or just that Oikos commercial that played on the Super Bowl a couple years ago. If you can just give that to me on loop. We love John Stamos over here on the Play 3 podcast. Now,
but to be real serious about what I thought when I saw the Apple TV, is that it already inherently seemed limited. Now, what they were showing was this controller where the top half of it was a touchpad, and that was the controller where you're kind of like flipping your finger around to make your character move. It shows very little room for like advancements and versatility in the gaming experience. But I also saw that they were going to release a controller for it called the Nimbus, I think it was called. The Nimbus. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you one thing. It's a third-party controller that looks like a blatant clone of the Microsoft Xbox controller.
See, to me, it looked more like... I mean, it has Xbox One qualities, but it looked more like the Wii U Pro controller to me.
I'm not familiar then. I just saw the buttons, dude, are identical. A, B, X, Y.
You just keep talking about the controller, and I'll bring you this controller.
Now, this doesn't show any sort of competition to the high-end consoles. The people who should worry about this are the streaming devices like the Roku or the Chromecast. That's their category. This is not a console killer. It's an other streaming device killer.
That's the Wii U controller.
These were down here at the bottom.
Oh, that's right. No, I thought they were up there, but it looks a lot. It looks a lot like this. Just put the buttons up top and the sticks down below. And I don't believe it had shoulder buttons, did it?
I'm not familiar.
So I don't think it did. Yeah, it looked like a cheap knockoff. It looks like. I agree. I think this is more a big deal for Roku and those sorts of items. And it's really, I don't really want to compare it to the PlayStation TV because you can play like Vita games on the PlayStation TV. It's got a ton of capabilities. Mm-hmm. And the big thing about the Apple TV and the apps that can run on it is they're limited to 200 megabytes.
Really?
Yeah, because
limited
for their app size, and then they can use cloud computing to achieve more within it. But as far as the physical space it can take up on your console, it's 200 megabytes. So even within those limits, they are extremely handcuffed in terms of like the experiences they can bring over to the Apple TV. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. However, we can crap on Apple as much as we want within this.
As we own iPhones and Macs.
And I like Apple products. I feel like they have gotten a little too luxury brand and have become like, all right, we are technology.
They'll buy this pencil.
Yeah.
They'll buy it.
That is what it feels like. Like they sit in a room and they're like, hey, we got this stylus, takes us about 78 cents to make, and they're like $100. And they're like, really? They're like, people will pay for that crap. There's people already lined up for it, probably. XX Dude 05 says, just me, I don't like Apple. $1,000 for a tablet, I'd rather buy two 780s. So,
hey, I mean, it makes sense because you are buying the brand.
Yeah, it really,
you are.
It's like Beats headphones or like really nice shoes, or it's not necessarily that it's superior quality to anything. You're just paying for the little logo right here that a lot of you guys are kind of cover up with a sticker anyway, or a case. Oh, you can still see mine through the light proof. But however, I think that this is innovative in a sense because But I don't think Apple is necessarily the one innovating on it. So let me take that back. I don't believe it's innovative, but I do believe it's the direction that we're going. And I'm okay with it, where we are going to have one dedicated box under our televisions that just does everything for us. And I look forward to that day.
But my one function's just the same, though.
But think about your one. If you've got cable, right?
We're getting rid of it, but yeah.
So you have to route your box into the Xbox, and then your Xbox to your television. There's coming a day, I believe, where these companies are probably going to partner together with one another. And I'm not saying I'm rooting for this day necessarily of the partnering of the companies. I like the premise, but let's say Xbox One and DirecTV are like, hey, we are going to sell a set-top box that is an Xbox One. Or Xbox, whatever it's on when we get to that iteration, where you do not need anything else under your television. Your Xbox is going to do Netflix and Hulu, and it's going to do YouTube and Twitch. It's going to do all of those sorts of things. You're going to be able to play all of your games on it. You're going to get to have all those Windows 10 apps on it, and you get the full slate of DirecTV programming on it as well. And so rather than having, a bunch of stuff feeding into my television, just one box that takes care of it all. And I think Apple TV is trying to take the harder route, which is from one of these streaming service boxes, doing what's very difficult in creating a powerful gaming machine, which this is far from, where there's already powerful gaming machines that already have the streaming stuff pretty wrapped up. And even with the Xbox, and as you know, I'm a huge proponent of the Kinect, and I tell people all the time, like, you cannot have the full Xbox One experience unless you have a Kinect, and that's going to get even more true when we get Cortana support on our consoles. But like that directly competes against Siri, and Cortana in many ways is more intuitive than Siri is.
Wow.
And so you've got this thing that's doing everything that the Apple TV can do, and if you're going to go the 64 gig Apple TV for $200, just spend the extra $150 and get an Xbox One, and boom, you've got it. Well, you'd have to pay extra for the Kinect, so I guess that's a little bit of a moot point. But outside of the voice commands, for $350, you get everything Apple TV is going to offer you, plus a very, very capable and powerful gaming console. Same thing with the PlayStation, So I see us moving in the direction of set-top boxes being all-in-one, but Apple TV is not going to be the thing that gets us there.
No. If I had to express my reaction to the Apple TV overall, it kind of made me sad, to be honest with you. Like, Apple has always been, we always looked at Apple as being very innovative, taking technology to the next level. Or at least, utilizing innovative technology. But this year, it just kind of seemed like there was a loss of steam. Yeah. That it was all just kind of just a cloning, and it's kind of lost its cutting edge. And that made me kind of bummed out. Because like you said, that's something that the tech world stops to listen to. And
yeah. Talby126 says AT&T wants to make DirecTV to do more streaming. So
interesting.
Well, and didn't DirecTV? No, it was just the NFL that had a partnership with Verizon and did a bunch of streaming. Yeah, we're going to start to see these media. We're going to continue to see these media companies merge together to give us more like cross-media ways of digesting their content. And so, all right. Oh, Original Pizza's over here with us on YouTube.com. This is very, very difficult to keep up with two different chats. So, for the Apple TV, is there anything that they could have done that you'd have been like, man, that's something that would really fill a hole in my media life?
Oh, goodness.
I just sprung this question on you.
The one thing they could have done to really change my mind on it is to not say that it's a gaming console. Not saying it's a gaming platform. It's just the beginning stages of it. I mean, we can't jump that gun right now.
Yeah, I think they were kind of particular in the way, because they never called it a console.
Yeah,
I think they called it a machine, a gaming machine.
Gaming machine, all right. Had the capabilities.
So at least and I think they did that because they knew the controversy and the crap storm that it would have followed had they been like, we're a gaming console. No, you aren't. You play Disney Infinity 3.0. You're not a gaming console.
But what would make it appeal to me? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
What would make it appeal to me? Dude, I don't know. I'm honestly not a TV person anyways. Like I said, we're getting rid of our cable because we never use it. We just use Hulu and Netflix, and we use the One. So it wouldn't, because I have the One, and it meets all the needs that I have right now.
Yeah. And that's my thing. Like, for people who are seriously in the gaming community, which is not who this is supposed to appeal to. And I guess that's where we're missing the mark in the discussion. This is supposed to appeal to casual gamers who like to game on their phone and wouldn't mind having that experience at home without having to spend big bucks on a console.
True.
However, for me, it's like that doesn't do anything that stuff I have doesn't do already. And so, yeah, maybe one day Apple can be a competitor in this market, but I just think they were too far along on the gaming side of it, integrating the streaming stuff for Apple to ever be able to catch up, unless they really poured some serious cash into it. And it's been proven time and time again the money's not in the hardware for this stuff. You make very little profit off the hardware, and so they're only making, what did we say when we had this conversation a few weeks ago? Like $17 off of an Xbox One sold, and so I doubt Apple's ever going to say like we're seriously going to pour into the hardware of this stuff in order to really seriously compete in the gaming community.
But here's the thing: Apple has an amazing marketing strategy. Like people know what Apple is doing. So if they wanted to, it wouldn't backfire like Sony.
Yeah. Well, and Talby 128 says Steam has a bigger chance to compete, and that's true. If Steam can get their head out of the clouds and not give a diluted console experience to people who aren't really familiar with PC gaming, and then people come around, they're like, you can build a computer twice as good as that for the same exact money. And so, yeah, and I understand with Steam, the problem is with like uniform capabilities and uniform compatibility for their games, and so they put out the Steam machine to try to help that along. And that's always going to be the issue for people who are used to consoles jumping over to PC gaming. But I just think the console and the PC gaming market has a stronger foothold in this kind of multimedia platform thing than Apple's ever going to be able to hold in it. And so I imagine this may be their first and last real adventure into serious gaming. Okay. Now, are you going to be able to play Temple Run and stuff like that on your Apple TV? Possibly, but I just don't know how many people want to do that. And XX the dude, it says Sony and Microsoft don't make money from hardware; it all comes from games and digital sales. But when you're iOS, when you're Apple and in the iTunes store, in the App Store, you're used to paying 99 cents, $5 for a game. What's the sticker shock going to be like for people who are used to those kinds of prices, seeing $30, $40 games in that market as well? So it'll be difficult for them to seriously recuperate money trying to jump into hardware sales. All right. You're watching 3 Topic Thursday over here on twitch.tv/player3podcast. You can watch the archive if you missed any of it, especially our unboxing of the Kind of Funny prize pack over on youtube.com/player3podcast. All right. Moving on to topic number 3. Oh, yeah.
Turn it off, dude.
Yeah, we got this and these. You want to put these on? I don't want to break them.
I don't either. It was already
there we go.
Bent a little bit.
Yeah, the Postal Service really screwed that box up. All right. Last topic. We always like to...
too small for my head, dude.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Oh,
These are steps.
All right. So for the third topic, we always like to do something not really gaming related at all, just to have a little fun with our chat. And if you're in the chat with us here, we do something called the Player 3 Podcast After Party Lounge. And so we will... and that's where we really like to interact with our chat, talk about topics you want to talk about, and spend some time with you guys. But last topic... It's very clear that we are gaming fans.
Yes,
to some extent. Some, and all 5 of us that do the show together. Like, we're all gaming fans to some degree, some more than others. And you wouldn't consider yourself a gamer above all other things.
Nah, it's not my number one top thing that I do.
It started to become my top thing that I do.
Really?
Yeah. So my question to you is: outside of gaming, what are some of your hobbies? What are some of the things you enjoy doing with your time?
Boom.
You two in the chat, tell us what you like to do in your free time other than game.
The number one thing that is in my life, hobby-wise, is anything that has to do with music. I love playing guitar. I love playing bass. I love just being in my spare bedroom and just listening to music from like the 60s. Like last night, my wife was watching Once Upon a Time, so I was in my room just jamming out to like Jefferson
Davis.
Yes, Jefferson Davis. Jefferson Airplane with Grace Slick. I was listening to the Animals, the Zombies, all these great 60s people. Even like the Guess Who and Steppenwolf. Man, I was sick last week, and I'm still trying to get over it.
Dude, and somebody that was in the chat when we were unboxing made a good point.
What's that?
We probably got the PAX pox in that thing. At PAX, the conference, there was apparently like some crazy illness going around.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They were at PAX, put the PAX pox right in there, shipped it right on over
So
to
I'm still
us.
trying to recover from this. But my number one interest, absolutely music. Music. I have more, but that's just my number one.
Okay, we'll talk more. Talk more. See, after gaming, and see, these are probably head neck and neck. Do I enjoy this more? And let's see. Talby 128 said it. Watching sports.
Oh, that's yours?
Watching sports. You know me, dude. If you've got a sports question, you're gonna come talk to me.
That's true.
Talk to me.
I have to act like I know what I'm saying, but I don't.
I grew up watching sports. I grew up playing sports games. It's really what ushered me into the gaming world. Madden 95, Triple Play Baseball 95. And it was a bonding point. I got a brother that's 7 years older than me, and you know, you don't have much in common with each other when one of you is 5 and one of you is 12. Mm-hmm. But when there's sports on and you both want to watch sports, like that can kind of bring you together. So it was always a real cool opportunity for me to hang out with my brother. And my brother's taught me a ton of good lessons in sports. And the number one being like, don't let your fandom blind you. Because I'm a huge fan of the Boston Celtics. I'm an NBA fan above everything else. Huge fan of the Boston Celtics, but I can like have an objective conversation with about the Celtics. I'm a big Florida State fan and a Miami Dolphins fan, Cleveland Indians fan. Grew up watching sports and talking to my brother, and within that, I also really enjoy playing fantasy sports. We just had our fantasy football draft. I've been out of football for a couple years now because I'm a minister. I work every Sunday, so it's really hard for me to watch games on Sunday. So I'm trying to get back into it because I'm like, there's players that are like important in the league that I really don't know who they are, and so it's my way of jumping back into it. But fantasy basketball is where it's at. What's that?
Be objective, Luke.
Celtics suck. Can we discuss that? Be objective, Luke. Yes, we can discuss that for a moment. See, we do suck. All right. Now we're in the weak East. That's why we got the 7 seed last year because we were horrible. Yet we still made the playoffs somehow. But we're getting better. Brad Stevens is a fantastic coach. We got a ton of draft picks. Danny Ainge is a wizard as a GM, and Isaiah Thomas, baby. All right. But we do suck. And Kelly Olynyk purposefully broke Kevin Love's arm.
All right.
Sorry, Celtics fan. Anyway, so, but fantasy basketball is where it's at for us.
That's what I'm looking for.
We are in a pay league where we play with a real salary cap. So, oh no, did we lose it? What? It says we went offline.
But we're not.
Oh, we're coming back. Here we go.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was really weird. Sorry about that. All right. So we play real salary cap. We have to put together a team of 10 to 12 guys with their real salaries and have to stay under the actual salary cap for the NBA league. It gets really intense.
I'm excited about that.
And you're really excited about it. But by the time that comes, I don't game very much because every night I'm going to be watching basketball. All right. What else is on your list here?
All right. I'm all about board games. I love game nights.
Mad Brock said it.
Yeah. All about games, like board games, card games. That is another one of my passions. That room I was telling you guys about where I was listening to music very loudly last night, that is our designated board game room. We're going to put a table in there, and then we're going to try to get people over like once a month to just play a game, have a good time. So music, board games, I love writing. I love creative writing. I've never finished anything before, but I'm really trying to work towards that. I love movies. That's one thing that my wife and I like to do. I like to go to movies, just kind of know the trivia behind it, know the directors and all this stuff. And I never would have thought I would become this person. But over the past few months, I've been watching a ton of YouTube, and I've never been that person. That's never been me. I've just never gotten on YouTube. But over the past few months, I've been watching like Good Mythical Morning all the time, beers and board games, tabletop. Like it's just an everyday thing now. So that's becoming one of my stronger hobbies. But that's pretty much it. But it's all things that make me who I am.
Yeah, yeah. My wife and I watch a lot of TV. We're big Game of Thrones fans, Walking Dead fans, so we like to keep up with that. We don't have cable or anything like that, but we have Sling TV, which is great. If you want to cut the cord, go to Sling TV. And so, yeah, it's not all about gaming. I also really enjoy spending time with you guys doing this. This has become maybe my biggest hobby, is doing podcasting every Monday and putting together show notes and talking about what we can do to improve stuff, make it better. Looking at the fact that we've had like 3 people show up to the stream over here on
Original Pizza.
Original Pizza. Haven't had many hobbies lately unless you call keeping the girlfriend happy one. Most of my time is being put into games, creating YouTube content, and preparing for moving abroad.
Ooh, moving abroad.
How big is she?
Okay, that was good. Where from and where to?
Yeah, that's yeah, definitely. Because we're interested in that. I've always wanted to live in London. I wouldn't mind living in London, moving over to England. Gabna.
Here we go. We have a big fan base there. Let's not scare him away.
Look, Zephyr Baby knows.
I mean, it's not all Harry Potter and tea over there.
Zephyr Baby's going to let me... We just went offline again. What's going on?
But we're still here, messed up or camouflaged. I think they're camouflaged.
The computer is being crazy. Okay, we're back. What's that?
So these look like they're camouflaged. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they are. That's why. The reason they look camouflaged is because they are camouflaged.
Just thought it was messed
But
up.
anyway, Zephyr Baby wants to let me stay in his apartment. I don't know if he lives in an apartment. Hopefully we're back. Hold on, let me refresh the stream. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here for the audio version of this podcast. But you can watch us over here, follow us over at twitch.tv/player3podcast, or watch the archive on youtube.com/player3podcast. If you're in the chat with us, stick around as we move into the after party lounge. What is going on? It says we're live, but it says we're offline. He's moving from the UK to Dubai.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Twitch is down.
Twitch is down.
Twitch.
But anyway, we are the player. We are 3 Topic Thursday. We're going to get this fixed,
podcast.
and then we're going to come into the after party lounge. How's that sound?
I'm cool with that.
All right. Bye-bye.
Is Original Pizza still seeing us?
No.
Okay.